Okay, broadcast is live. We are
Okay.
back.
Okay, people. So, good morning.
It's good to be back. I've been sleeping the entire time since we went off the air last. I like to hibernate a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say that what we call hibernating.
Yes. So now we are back, and it's good to be back. We're going to have a bigger audience this time. The average weight will be higher. No, I think it's. I think we'll just have more people. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, we have 3 people. Oh, I wish Ford can hear us. It's gonna be fun. Ford was a cool.
Yeah. We're relaunching the show. You can see we've got a new name because we don't really want to identify with quarantine anymore, and we're not in quarantine. So
or fire.
Yeah. So we decided to be really modest about our audience and say this is Table for 7 billion, which is the approximate population of the Earth. Although I just heard that the oldest American died at 115, so it's now 6,999,999. But you know, probably have been a baby born since I started that number, so it could be back up to.
Should we change our title now? We can't change to 6 million. No, we don't change it. We're just going to wait for the next. We're just going to wait for the next birth.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Because
we're gonna redo the show. We're gonna be here every week, and we're gonna talk about food, and we've got all kinds of topics.
We're gonna have guests again, which
we're gonna have some really exciting guests. We're gonna have President Biden's gonna be on the show. Isn't that what I heard? Maybe not. But you never know. You never know. Joe could come by. He certainly sends me a lot of texts and emails, so. I'm sure they're coming from him personally. So we'll see. Anyway.
All right. So, cool. Sorry, I was closing something. So everything is working. It looks like beautiful.
Good.
So we're good. And I want to bring. I'm meeting with the classes are just reopening. And what's happening is I have a lot of cool students. And one of them yesterday she was a dairy farmer from Wisconsin. So we're going to have her on the show. She was really cool. She's been my student for many, many years. She has still learned anything at all. So that's good. That's good for me, right?
I know a bunch of dairy farmers in Wisconsin. I wonder if I've ever met her.
Well, I don't remember her name, but I have her email. But I think we should start to invite those people because we want to talk about all these farmers. We're going to focus on really the healthy food again, same idea. Make sure traditional, nothing fake like we did before, and we can do recipes this time because I do have my setup from the kitchen, and we're going to be able to do demonstration easier. So it's going to be really cool. And we're going to stream on Facebook for now today because I have to figure out how this whole thing is going to work. And then we're going to go on YouTube. I have a Twitch account also. So we're going to go little by little, see which one works the best, right?
Okay. I don't know what any of those words mean, but it sounds good.
Just say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
The truth about being happy, keep nodding.
Yeah.
Keep working, keep nodding, right?
Well, I've taken my medication, so I should be happy for the duration of the show. Yeah. So we thought what we would do is, since this is a new beginning for us, we thought we'd go back to the beginning and talk a little bit about ourselves. It's our favorite subject. Ourselves and food. Those are our 2 favorite subjects.
Yep.
So we thought we'd talk about how we got into the food world.
Well, no, James, I would say, you told me that we'd talk about what happened for us the last 2 years we disappeared.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that.
Right, because right?
Because of a wonderful wizard he is.
Yeah.
So
we're still here. So basically, we're still here.
We are still here. And things have changed significantly since we stopped doing the show. Things have opened up a little bit. We're also having little spikes in the variants and things, but it seems like it's not as serious as it was before.
Well, for us at the kitchen, we fully reopened. I'd say we opened one kitchen only, because we don't have enough staff to operate 2 kitchens. Plus, having 2 kitchens is too much at this point right now today. But we have 1 kitchen open, so we do all the classes at Berkeley, and I do virtual in Auckland. This is my Auckland kitchen, and this is where I do all my virtual classes. So I have a big setup. You guys can see a little bit better here.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. So I have room. I have a lot of cameras. I can show you a bunch of stuff, and most importantly, we can put James in very little, which is very cool.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
And we have Reboot out. So this is something that we also talk about how we made that super drink. It was really good. And we're gonna take some more questions. So James, I received a lot of new questions that we can play with anyway. So that's fun.
Good.
And we'll see what happens, right?
Well, I spent most of the lockdown year helping César to do a takeout business, which helped us survive. And we did survive, and we are back. We reopened for indoor dining last year. We have a real advantage at César because the whole front of the place opens up. On most days, we can have lots of fresh air, lots of air circulating. And it allows the homeless people better access to the tables to come in and steal food. So it's been good. And our customers are really, really excited that we're back. They're very grateful that we've survived and that we're back open. They're impressed that we got the whole staff back. They're impressed that the food is so consistent. It's just like it was before. And it's really, really good. So that's exciting. And that's makes it all the more painful that we're facing a crisis right now at César.
I know. I heard. So
just in a nutshell, our landlord is our next door neighbor, Chez Panisse. They don't own the building, but they got a hold of the lease when the dry cleaners closed almost 24 years ago, and because they wanted to control what kind of a business went in there. So they've always been our landlord, and we've always been good neighbors. We've always paid our rent. We thought we had a really good relationship with them. Our name comes from the same French film trilogy that featured Panisse. Panisse is a character. César is a character in the movies. They're best friends in the movies. Anyway, they now want us out. They want to kick us out because they want to do their own thing.
I know. So, but she's a
very smart woman who has a vision.
Exactly.
And
that's what I was thinking. So, I mean, I'm sure, James, you're cutting out.
Oh, I am? Oh,
it's back. You're back. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I think there's a delay. Anyway, listen, I think this is a whole thing that we should, maybe talk about that a little bit another time.
Right. Because, I do want to get into it more.
Yeah, because we want to. I mean, we want to see what she has to say. It's like I want to. We want to see what's happening with that.
Well, the big article just broke on Berkeley side, so I encourage everyone to go read that. And
we'll see what she has to say, and maybe she's whatever. Maybe César will still run, and hopefully, because César is really a home for a lot of people, and he was a fixture in Berkeley, right? But
it's really an institution as much as Chez and a lot of other places, and we're a real fixture in the community, and our customers love us, and we love each other. We love being there, so we really want to maintain that continuity.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about this more in more detail when we know more.
Right.
And in the meantime,
so I was thinking that we're gonna do recipes also. So basically, fun stuff, very little stuff. I know you have a big cheese background. I can see it from here.
Yeah.
So I want to bring guests here, like all the guests that we had 2 years ago. I think we should recontact them. Semi-Freddy.
This is a cheese knife.
You have the knife already. That's good.
That's right.
You can see it. all our friends that we had, we're gonna recontact them, see what happened in the last 2 years. Right? Is still, I mean, most people are still alive, which is good. But some are gone already. I know a lot of restaurants are closed now, and they're
Yes.
not coming back. Lots of restaurants have changed hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. Right? We'll see what happens.
But on this show,
But we're here.
we want to talk about real food. We're not going to talk about the latest gimmicks. We're not going to talk about, we're going to talk about basic foods ingredients like cheese and bread and vegetables and meat and fish and all the stuff that you should be cooking with rather than buying prepared and packaged foods. Sometimes packaged foods aren't so bad. Sometimes prepared foods aren't bad. Certainly restaurants are great, but it should
Well,
be an occasional thing, not your diet.
right.
So we're going to
Because
talk about that.
what we're going to talk about specifically on this subject, that the best way to be healthy is to cook your own food. I mean,
Right.
that's something that was existent. What is that? Before the 1950s, I think everybody had a food in their backyard, right?
A lot of people did. Yeah.
45, 48. And then the first supermarket started to come, but otherwise people had food that they were cooking, they were actually growing.
Right.
And we lost that connectivity with the ground and the earth. And I think we're becoming a little bit too crazy, all of us, not just in the world, that we don't communicate anything with there's no harmony. It's all disrupted. Everything is, everybody does his own little thing and buys his food, eat in his corner. No, we're losing that friendship stuff, or we need to be
Right.
together again as humans and start to treat people a little bit more with decency again. But
And long
so
ago,
food does that, right?
right. And when my parents were young, you when you went food shopping, there was a butcher, there was
Yeah, yeah,
a greengrocer, there was
yeah.
and people specialized in things, and you got to know them. You knew your local butcher, and some of that is beginning to, well, for a long time that's been coming back, but still
Right.
supermarkets made it much easier for people because it was one-stop shopping.
And it's fine.
But and they're not bad, and
Right.
it lost a little of the personal touch. But even if you go to a supermarket all the time, you're going to get to know people there. You're going to know the butcher and the baker. But the problem was that supermarkets got very, very big, and
Right.
they started to focus on really industrialized food production, that
That's the problem. It's not
so that it
the
could be
food is
cheap and
right.
plentiful.
Yeah, because you can buy food, you can buy food that's made. A lot of people would make good food, but I have to warn you that basically the price of food has rose for us about 25 to 30%.
Sure.
Staff has rose enormously, hugely, enormously.
Yeah.
So when you look at the end, I want people to understand that a meal that they're going to buy for $15 or $16, there's nothing in it.
Right.
It's like you need to understand that if they're able to sell that for that cheap today, something is not in there. That's for sure. Because
Right.
this thing so really people need to understand that. And it's funny because we posted our 12-week series, which is our what is this called, the thing that makes us
The basic series.
right. The basic series, something we had at Kitchen on Fire Forever. This is our landmark stuff. It sold everything. We put five. They're all sold out.
Uh-huh.
5 series. They're smaller class because now it's 10 to 12 people max, but they are sold out. You can see people are looking to go back to understand how to cook and stuff, which is very cool. We're a little bit surprised, but happy that people want to really want to be healthy, and that's super crucial. There's no other way around. So,
Well, and I originally learned to cook so that I could eat the food that I wanted to eat too.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, when I was learning to cook, and I'm not a chef. I'm not a great cook, but I can cook, and I like to,
You're pretty good.
I'm pretty good, and I know a
That's
lot
good.
about cooking. And when I began to cook, when I started teaching myself to cook, it wasn't necessarily for health reasons. It was just for because
Yeah.
I liked certain foods. I wanted to be able to eat the way I wanted to eat and spice it the way I want to spice it, and so and it was fun, and it was fun to have people over to my house for dinner,
Yeah,
and
exactly. It's fun, and then you are confidence. It brings confidence to you because you can
right,
actually do stuff on your own, and you're not subject, or you don't depend on other people
right,
to live,
right.
to do basic stuff as a human. This is very incredible to me that some people don't even cook. It doesn't make sense.
It's
I mean,
funny too, you know.
how do you want to have kids and not be able to cook? How do you
Right.
do that? Like how do you even go into that? Anyway.
Well, and you know, traditionally people learn to cook from their parents. So you would your mother, you know, you watch your mother cooking in the kitchen and you'd learn all those things, and then you'd grow up and you'd cook for your family. And but we skipped a generation or two after World War II, during the 50s, when all these labor-saving devices and fast foods and convenience foods, a whole generation virtually didn't learn how to cook. And that's also why there was a huge explosion in cookbooks in the late 60s through the 70s, because people were looking for information because they just didn't know how to cook. And also people got interested, they started traveling and they wanted to be able to know how to cook French food or Thai food or Indian food or whatever. So that added to it too. But you know, I've
Right.
always been amused that on a lot of times on cooking shows they talk about cooking for a dinner party. So here are dishes you can cook so that they can be done, so that you can spend time with your guests, right? Because you don't want to be stuck in the kitchen while your friends are all out there having fun and you're in there cooking. But the funny thing to me about that is that every time I've had a party, whether it was a dinner party or just
Right.
a party, everyone's in the kitchen anyway.
Exactly. And
They all come in the kitchen. So I don't care if we're cooking. They're in the kitchen. Fortunately, I've always had big kitchens. So
right. I know everybody's in the kitchen. That's exactly how I built Kitchen Fair, the Berkeley one.
uh-huh.
You know, we made an island in the middle so people can be around and cook and
Yeah,
enjoy. And that's the idea. We
it's the
really did that
best.
in that state of mind.
Yeah, it's the
Absolutely.
best. And everyone always gravitates towards the kitchen in any party. Any party I've ever been to or ever thrown, people end up gravitating towards the kitchen as long as it's a decent size
Right.
kitchen. And I've always been lucky to have space in the kitchen. Um,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's funny. It's funny.
So
So
then again, the kitchen it's really the most important part of your house, in my
yeah,
opinion.
it really is the heart of
Because a
the home.
bedroom, in a bedroom, you can sleep on the couch, right? I mean,
Right.
it's not an issue. You could, living room. I mean, how many people use a living room? Unless you have a family that you can eat every
Right.
night, that's great, like we used to in my family. Otherwise, what is this for? Like nothing. But the kitchen is
Yeah.
super prime. I mean, you have to have a kitchen, and also you could make it bigger and spend more time in that kitchen. So the
Right.
kitchen is central. You know, this is in the old days it was the fire. The fire was where people greet around, right?
Right. Right.
And it's an important part of the human evolution.
And
Let's say.
you know, my wife watches a lot of programs that deal with house renovation. So people are, you know, looking for houses and they're renovating houses.
Right, right,
And whenever I've seen them with her, the one thing that is, I hear people say it all the time when they're looking for a house, we want an open concept. We want an open concept first floor so that the living area and the kitchen
oh
dining area
wow,
is all one big space.
that's
So,
great.
and it's true, that's what people like to
Yeah.
do. You know, you don't want to separate that. You don't want to say,
It's funny because in France it's called an American kitchen. Do you know that?
right, right, right.
It's a
I knew people in when I would go to France in the 80s. I knew a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people
yeah,
that they said, "Oh yeah," and it typically in France the kitchen is
yeah.
off on its own, and you don't
No,
have a showplace kitchen.
so my mom, she did an American kitchen. She was opening the wall so we could, have a wall where we could eat, you
Right.
know, and look at what's happening. It's
Sure.
much,
Yeah.
it's super cool to see the kitchen anyway. And you see in restaurant, people love looking at the kitchen and learn more and more. Do you remember that place on San Francisco? Uh,
Stars.
the one that you can sit at the bar. There's a huge kitchen and you have seats around.
Yeah.
Pistola, roast pistola.
Oh yeah, Rose Pistola.
Remember?
Yeah.
When I go
Yeah.
there, man, I mean, I used to. When I used
Yeah.
to go there,
It's
I would
gone now, isn't it?
yeah, I
Yeah.
used to sit only there
Yep.
because
Me
it's
too.
like it's
Me
so
too.
cool. It's so
Me
cool.
too.
And then eating at the bar, this is my favorite place to go. I eat
Yeah.
at the bar and I order my, So I like to do is I like to go to several restaurants and order appetizers
Yeah. Me too.
because main course it's like it's too much. And if you miss it, and if you don't pick the right thing, you know what I mean. But if you order a few appetizers, you have a good sense of what that restaurant is doing, and then you go to another place and you get little things, and you don't eat too much, also, right?
Right. And I like the idea that with the small plates, and you don't get tired of anything. So
Right. Yeah,
you
exactly.
kind of you eat, if there's a really good dish, you end up wanting more of it, which is a good way to stop because you're anticipating more. So move on to the next dish. Whereas if you get a big entree, a lot of times I sort of get tired of it halfway through, and
Yeah. Anyway,
so yeah,
so
we do that too.
tapas is good. That's why César is great. Or the tapas, right? Because so people
Right.
love those tapas, and that's why having appetizers in a restaurant is very important.
And the concept of tapas has gotten a lot of press in the last 20 years
Right.
because of restaurants like César.
Right.
But in the Mediterranean, all those countries around the Mediterranean Sea, they all have some version of that
Yeah.
small plate dining. I mean, in Italy, it's antipasto. In Greece, it's the what are they called, the
Mezze.
mezza. And all throughout that area,
And
people, that's
in
what they do. You go to a cafe and you have little plates of food and you have wine or drink or coffee or whatever.
in Tunisia, it's called kemia. La
Uh-huh.
kemia. La
Yeah.
kemia is the appetizer. That's what it is.
And every time you go to a restaurant in Tunisia, you first
Yeah.
start with all
Right.
these little plates of salads and
Actually, in
little.
Morocco as well, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like, and there's a lot of them, tons, not just like a little. No, no, it's like a lot of food, right?
Right.
And then you have your main course after, and you're like, whoa.
There's always one or two dishes that are based on tahini. There's always
Olive,
harissa,
olives,
olives, lots of
some kind of
olives.
hummus.
Yeah. And
Some,
there's always harissa, the spicy sauce to put on stuff, and it varies from country to country, and even from restaurant to restaurant. I mean, you go to two restaurants in Morocco, and their harissas might be very, very different
oh yeah.
because people
So
pride themselves on it.
hey, you know what, James? Maybe next week I can show them how to make harissa.
Ooh,
I
that's a
have a
good
good
idea.
recipe. I make my harissa, but I'll put in there. I'll put tomato paste in there.
Oh, so you don't just open a jar of harissa?
I have some.
There are some good jarred harissas, but
I don't know if it's a good one.
is that one in a tube? That's a tube, right? You squeeze it out
I
like a.
hope so.
Don't get that mixed up with your toothpaste, because you'd know right
So
away, though.
this one is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good.
It stands up. It's a good product for preservation because it holds up really well after you
Yeah.
make it. So,
But I make it. And I make it with a little tomato paste, so it's a little because otherwise it's pretty rough.
right,
Okay, the caraway is a little strong, which I love
right.
caraway. That's what it comes with. It has caraway in there, so you guys, so you know.
And some of them I've had are very, very thin. Some of them are very thick, like a paste. It just depends on who's
James,
making it and what
it
their.
really depends on how you look at it, man. Because look,
Yeah,
it's thick and now it's
yeah.
thin.
Oh, right, right, right.
So it all depends how you look at it, buddy.
I'm that way too. If I turned to my side, you wouldn't even be able to see me. I'm that.
I'm thin. I'm thin. I'm thick.
Yeah. So anyway, what were we talking about? Small
Let's
plates, restaurants.
yeah. Let's make some harissa next week. I'll make harissa for people. It's a really good preservant. It's really good also for you. It's a really good antioxidants. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Spices are really good. We're gonna do that.
Right. I also want to make something else clear to people that we talk a lot about health and healthy eating and all that stuff, but
we're not healthy.
oh, I'm well preserved. Tequila is an excellent preservative.
How about rum?
Rum too. Yep. Anything distilled. But what we believe in eating real food and that's going to make you healthy. I mean, that's what healthy food is real food. You start with fresh ingredients, lots of fruits and vegetables, good quality protein, all of that. What we don't believe in, and this has been a huge explosion of this in the last 20, 30 years, are fad diets. People that decide that there's a single answer to health, and if I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
eat this way, or if I cut out all these things.
Well,
And
you can cut out all these things, yes. But like for example, you could, if you don't want to worry about, because the biggest issue is people's stress
mhm,
about what to eat. That stress needs to go away
yeah,
because that adds, issues to your health right now. So what you want to do is you want to go, if you don't know what to eat, remember we talked about that before, James. You go to the farmer's market,
yep,
you look around, everything in the farmer's market is for you. Everything.
yeah, yep,
So that's it. You don't need to go buy a book. You don't need to go see someone who's going to help you. That this is it. You go
right,
to the farmers market. All the meats are fantastic. The eggs, the cheese, the nuts, the vegetables, everything in there is in season,
right.
except for the blueberries maybe sometime, which is fine. But that's it. That's your diet. So the diet, if you're looking for diet, you go to the farmers market,
and
and that's what.
everything and everything there is from
Right,
relatively small farms where they don't use a bunch of chemical pesticides and
right.
herbicides. They they they
They
grow
also grow
food.
your food. They grow your food.
Right,
So you
right,
can actually have a much more interesting connection. Even if you don't talk to that person, it's okay. I'm not asking you to like go and start to like talk for 2 hours to the guy, but you are actually meeting that person.
yeah,
This is a huge, this is, imagine you buy from someone who actually grew your food.
right,
Maybe that not that person specifically because it's the group of people, but those are the people that are responsible. So you have a responsibility. You can actually see that person. As if
right,
you buy to a big supermarket, you don't know who, what, anything, right?
right,
Like when you buy eggs or meat from you can actually ask what, right?
right, right. Absolutely. And the bottom line is, if you choose to not eat meat, or if you choose to not eat gluten, or if you choose to not eat whatever, fine, don't eat it.
Yeah,
Just don't
exactly.
stress out about it. Just don't beat yourself up if you have some, it's, and
And
then let
and and
chance.
some people do have issues, James, because
Sure.
Lisa and I we actually work with people that have a lot of dietary conditions, and gluten allergy is not a fad. And it's a lot of time because the gluten was so bad in this country. I think it poisoned a lot of people, and
Right,
it's from the glyphosate, from all the stuff that are added. I don't think the wheat itself is the most culprit. I think the way it was raised and what became to
right.
that wheat. I think that's what it is. And today we have people that are really, really allergic. So it's not a fad. That gluten thing, people say no, it's true. Some people are really suffering because they've
No,
been
I know
poisoned.
that. I know that some people get
No, no,
very
I
ill if
know
they
you
eat
know. I
any,
know. I know you.
but
Yeah,
other people just they've
it doesn't matter.
chosen to do it because they think they'll be healthier, or they think that it'll help them lose
Well,
weight,
they,
or
if they think that they're healthier, great. But
yeah.
whatever.
But my point is, if you slip and you have a little piece of
Yeah.
bread or something, just don't beat yourself up over it.
No.
And don't be afraid of your food. I mean, most food, if it's natural food, if it's been raised properly, whether it's an egg or a radish or a chicken or a piece of beef, it's probably not bad for you. It's all about moderation. It's about,
How can it be bad?
eating sensibly,
It's food. Food
balancing
is
your
not
diet.
bad. Food
Right.
is not bad. Fake food is bad. Okay. Fake
Fake
food
food
is
is
bad.
bad.
Real food is not bad. Okay. So that's what we do. And Kitchen on Fire is all about this. It's very traditional cooking, by the way. I teach a lot of different classes, yes. But I can tell you, this is more important is the freshness of the food and
Yeah.
it's real. I mean, other than
Right.
that, it's not. And then we can go into there's so many techniques to use for the food. There's thousands and thousands of recipes and cookbook, right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
is that what you do? You still receive cookbooks and stuff, James?
Not so much anymore. I used to review cookbooks for the magazines that I work for, so I used to get sent tons of cookbooks,
Right, right.
and some of them were really lunacy. They were just idiotic books. But then many of them were great. Some of them were by, some of the top cookbook writers, or they, really explored country cuisines or whatever. They were really good. But I was always struck by how many books came out that were just complete nonsense,
And what happened to the magazine now? Do you still do the magazine or no?
No. The first one I worked with doesn't exist anymore, the Gourmet Retailer, and Gourmet Business. Times changed. It was there was a lot of money problems, and I left 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, wow. So
And
before the pandemic, right?
yeah, so I write my own stuff now, and I've done some freelance journalism.
Oh yeah.
I wrote a book during the pandemic, which I'm hoping to publish this spring. Which I'll talk more about at a later time when it gets
You are
closer to
going to put
happening.
you're gonna put words in the book because I've seen it. It's all white.
Yeah. Olivier and I wrote a book together. We wrote 2 books together, and Olivier sort of produced them, but he did all the photography and the drawings, and then I wrote the text. So when we would be at book signings, people would come up to me and they'd say, "What part of the book did you write?" And I'd say, "Only the words."
That's funny.
I got an advance for a cookbook once that I wrote, and it never got published because I wrote it for a company that wanted to promote their stuff. But I got paid, so I didn't care whether they published it or not. But anyway, when I got my first advance, then it was a bunch of money. I took my wife to Europe and got the advance, bought 2 tickets. We went to Europe for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
And I came home and I looked at her and I said, "Oh, shit, now I got to write the book." But I did. I wrote it in a year and I turned it in, got the other half of the advance, and we went back to Europe. So I'm not very good at saving money. Can you tell?
So what that book came out or no?
No, they never. I don't know what they did with it. It was a gluten-free cookbook, believe it or not.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
you told me that, no?
Yeah, it was a good book. My wife helped me a lot because she had.
Yes, I remember. Yeah,
she evolved to a gluten-free
that's right.
diet during that time,
really
so she
recipes.
helped with most of the recipes and
You had
collected
really good
recipes from
in
all
there.
over the. Yeah, there's some things I would change if I were gonna edit it now for publication. I would change a bunch of stuff and I would add a bunch of stuff because I've learned a lot. But whatever, they'd have to pay me again. But I'd just take the money and blow it on a trip somewhere. So
Oh man.
So yeah. So
okay. Sorry.
What was your earliest food experience? How did you get interested in food? How did you learn to cook? What was your first band? What was your first instrument that you played?
Piano.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And then saxophone and then guitar. And I was really bad at music.
I was really good at air guitar though. I could play an air guitar like nobody's business.
No, not good on music. Good on food.
Yeah.
Started early, 15. I was working with my mom. My mom, both my parents are doctors, and they decided to to invest in the restaurant back. So my mom loved the restaurant business because that's where she's kind of from. And they decided to open a restaurant in Paris. And my mom quit what she was doing and went back to the restaurant business. And I started to work with her when I was 15, and I was doing la plonge, the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went up to making the desserts. Now, not making the desserts, plating. Like the desserts are made. I just put them on a plate and put a little whatever. And I moved into salads also, like very simple salad, nothing.
You didn't go directly from the dishwashing room to the dessert room, did you? I mean, the apple tarts didn't taste like soap, did they?
That's why we have 2 hands, Jim. Yeah, and the elbows, and I can do.
Right.
Now, there was the simple stuff. The food was really good, but the dessert and the salad was simple. They were already made in advance. The chef would make it in the morning, and then I just put them in and served them. There was no fancy stuff. But the restaurant was really, really good. It was very famous. In Paris, we had all the people coming all the time, very, very happy. Lots of people from the theater, television, opera, because it was in Les Halles,
Oh yeah.
next to the Louvre.
Oh,
Really
so
cool.
that was when Leal was still in operation, right? The big central market in
Yes.
Paris.
Yeah. They
Oh
all,
yeah.
and actually, the reason why she closed is because her restaurant was right on the edge, and they started to work in the hall. And the hall, I don't know if you remember, if you've seen pictures, when
Yeah.
they started to dig, this is incredible. And the restaurant was right on the edge. And for people to go in the restaurant, they had only that little path because it was barricades and stuff. And she lost foot traffic.
Oh, that's too bad.
And she had to close. Yeah, it was called the Trou des Halles. It was really good. Yeah, it was really,
Wow.
really cool
Wow.
restaurant. Anyway,
Yeah,
it was fun. Why?
they moved that market out to Rangy, which is out
Rangis. Rangis.
Rungis. It's out near the airport, out near the de Gaulle airport. So, and I've been to that market a few times, but I wasn't I didn't go to didn't go to Paris until after Leal was already gone. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of
Oh, I
pictures of it.
see. So
I've read about it a lot.
have you been to Rangis before they moved it? Like
No,
Rangis?
no.
So Rangis is you see they move Rangis, right? Is that what you said?
I visited the market at Rungis.
Yeah. So Rangis is in Rangis. That's it's next to
Right.
Paris, but it's next to Orly, not Charles de Gaulle. I thought, unless they moved it when I was gone. So it's next to
I
Orly.
thought it was up by de Gaulle, but I could be
I think
wrong.
it's next to Orly, the other airport, which is not in use anymore. But we used to go in Rangis get our stuff after the club or in between clubs
Oh.
because they open. So if you go at Rangis at 4 or 5, I forgot. When they open, when they start, you get the
Hmm.
best stuff, right?
Sure.
And it's weird because there's a lot of food, huh? It's
Hmm.
huge, but people go really early to get their best pieces. I don't know, like whatever.
Sure.
I went early at the beginning. I'm like, I don't care, like whatever. It's not that. It's always good. I
Right.
don't like, I could go at 7. It's okay. Like it's not.
But if you go at
I'm not missing out.
but if you go at 10 o'clock in the morning, everything's gone. I mean, it's
Yeah,
all been
yeah,
ravaged,
exactly.
and
They're gone.
especially the fresh produce. It's
Everything,
gone.
and you go in there. It's like it's completely empty. There's stuff
Yeah.
everywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
People are packing up. They're done. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can go. You can order and pick up your food. Also, that's saved on delivery.
Because
It's
it's
a,
not a
it's a
market for housewives to go do their shopping. This is a
professional.
commercial market. So the
Yeah,
idea is that chefs go early
right.
because they want to get the best stuff, but also they
Yeah.
have to
So
go back to their restaurants and start
you have to have a card.
processing this stuff.
Not
Yeah.
not
So
everyone can go in Regis. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to have a
yeah.
card or something that proves that you like
Right.
food or something. I forgot.
Yeah. You have to be a professional.
Yeah, but it was cool because you go in the morning and the truth is all the restaurants in Paris, a lot of them. So some of them order through Regis, but a lot of them order directly through online. They don't care.
Oh.
But some of them order. Some of the people I knew they go in Regis, and a lot of them they go out of the club, get their order, go back to the club. And we would meet at 5 o'clock to have dinner, to have like merguez, saucisse,
Right.
or we'd meet to at 5:30. We go, we get our order. So you get the order, then they have to prepare it. So yeah, it takes about 45 minutes or an hour,
Mhm.
and then you go eat. There's a restaurant there,
Yeah. There's a really
and
good restaurant. There's probably more than one, but
God, so we'd eat like the choucroute garni, whatever, right? It's like,
yeah. Yeah. It was really good.
but there's no breakfast. Like you don't eat tartines at Rangis. It's meat. It's like
Oh yeah.
sausages. It's
Yep. Yep.
cassoulet. Oh
You can
my
get
god.
kidneys, but you probably can't get a croissant.
I don't remember the croissant thing. I don't. I know you can get. It's kind of blurry. I know you can get food like a dinner because
Yeah.
restaurant that's what they were. That's how people are eating. I'm pretty sure there was cafe. I'm pretty sure. I just maybe
You know,
that's not
I
what I
know
was
there was
thinking.
a cafe because people would go and get a
Yeah,
coffee
to
and a
have their
roll or
coffee.
something.
I'm pretty sure that was. I just don't remember that.
But
It's
yeah, by the time you were done shopping, you wanted something more substantial. And
Well,
I mean, a
because
lot of
we
them
were
would
coming
just go
from the
back to
club,
their rest.
and
Yeah.
we were
I used to
hungry.
go to the cheese hall, which just they had all these fabulous name protected cheeses. A lot of them raw milk
Yeah.
that we couldn't import over here. Like they had stacks of the wooden boxes that brie came in, and just the smell of the place was
Oh
just
man, and
so
I can
wonderful.
actually see the food. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's right
I
there,
don't know
right
if
there.
I don't know if Rungis still exists. Let me just check quickly.
It
Like,
does. It does.
but like, is it?
It's changed a lot because the nature of the business has changed, and I don't know what they did during the pandemic. I'm sure it was difficult, especially since all the restaurants were closed. I don't know. They must have had a hard time. I
Let
don't
me
know
show
how
you.
many of the French restaurants in Paris did takeout or not, but because here a lot of restaurants survived by doing takeaway food, so people could
Yes,
call or order online,
yes.
have it delivered or pick it up. I don't know if they did a lot of that in France or not, but
Let me see if I can go do my thing. Let me. How do I do share? Share screen.
I remember going to the wholesale market in Rome once, and we didn't get there. We were there sort of late in the morning. It was after 9 o'clock in the morning, so the market was pretty much over. But I remember seeing a huge fish laying across the steel cart, and it was still breathing. It was still gasping. It was that
Look at the
fresh.
thing. Can
Yeah,
you see
there
it,
it
Chef?
is. Yep, yep, there it is. And
Wow.
that's just one haul. I mean, that's the produce haul. That's all fresh produce.
Right.
There's another haul like that with cheese. Then there's a place where they have meat, and the meat is wild because of course there's one of the cheese
And look,
guys.
this is how you taste the cheese in France.
Yeah, yeah,
You have this little wine stuff, right?
yep, yep.
Look at this. Woo!
Well, every cheese shop in France sells wine and bread, so it's let's see, that
So this is
looks
where
like
you are in the. This is a
that's
fish,
the
right?
cheese. Oh, that's fish. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
maybe.
fish. And you go in there, and it's cold as hell.
Yep, it's all
It's like
refrigerated. So
freezing. It's
yeah.
freezing in there. That's your cheese.
That's the cheese. Look at it right in front there. There's a big wheel of brie in that traditional box, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
brie de
Brie de
meaux.
Meaux, tiens, of
Brie de
course. Brie
meaux
de Meaux.
is the real deal. That's the
Yep.
raw milk,
I know.
handmade. Yeah, pretty great.
The flour.
Oh,
The
they have
flour. So
flowers. I
all the
forgot about
guys,
that.
the flour comes.
Yep,
So it's 7 miles. It's 7 kilometers.
yeah.
So look at that. Cool, huh?
It's an amazing place. Yeah, it's really fun to go to. I mean, you have to like you said, you have to have a pass to get in. So not just anybody can go, but if you can get a pass. I had a pass because I was a journalist, and we were with an importer that got us all in.
Yeah.
And it's really fabulous to see. Wholesale markets like that are great. I've always wanted to go to the fish market in Tokyo, which
Yeah.
again operates in the middle of the night. It's like
Yes.
3 o'clock in the morning when they have the big fish
Two
auctions.
and three. Yeah. And what is there a place like I know in LA we used to go to the flower mart. Is there something like this here?
I don't think so. There is a wholesale flower market here in San Francisco. That also I have a friend that has a flower shop, and she gets there about 4 a.m. Because she likes to be one of the first people in and get all the freshest, best flowers. Just like buying vegetables,
Yeah. Right.
you want the
So in
freshest,
LA,
best looking.
I had a friend who was a flower guy and flower store or something, and we used to go to that flower market. It was beautiful. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
In LA, it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the San Francisco market is really beautiful. I've been to it a few times.
And do they have a big wholesale market here? No, huh? It's not like there's no.
For food, I don't think so.
I thought there was this huge place that was a food market in South San Francisco somewhere. There's a big place where people go, but it's not as big for sure as Rungis. But
possibly, a lot of chefs in the Bay Area now go to farmers markets to buy their food. Those that can. Not everybody does that. It's hard to do because you've got to go. You've got to go with a truck. You got to load up and get it all back to your.
And also you have to your menu has to reflect what's it at the farmers market.
Right.
So you can't like make a menu and go shop.
Right.
As chef, they like to make their menu, then they go shop, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you just have to go first and figure out the menu, it's a little more complicated.
Right. Right. And it's, for a lot of people, they just don't have the manpower to do it. And so they order stuff and have it delivered to the
Yeah,
restaurant,
and
which is,
that's what most people do now.
yeah. And that's
Chef,
perfectly
I
good.
want
You
to,
still get really good food.
James, I want to stop at 1 hour today.
Okay.
It's
Why? You have some place to be? You have no life.
no, not anymore. This is gone. No, but so we can do an hour, and then this is the preparation. I want to talk more about ranges because
Yeah.
it's such a, I mean, it's a
Well, that,
life on its own. It's a life on its own. You go there and you just look around. I mean,
yeah.
it's like unbelievable. You can spend the whole day and just like being completely amazed by this exchange of
Yeah.
truck and meat and this, and people chat, and everybody talks to each other, right?
Right.
They have their cigarettes here,
Uh-huh.
their coffee or their calva. If it's cold, it's calvados,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's both. It's coffee and calva because it's really cold. And
Yeah. And the famous French writer, he wrote a brilliant short stories and novels, Guy de Maupassant.
yeah,
He wrote a really fabulous thing about being in Rungis. In Rungis, or not Rungis, in Leal. He described being
Leal.
in Leal, and this was,
Leal was gone when I was young. Leal was finishing.
yeah,
I was 14,
yeah,
15. That was
in the
it.
'60s, yeah,
So
or
and they started
'70s,
because it took a while to approve because they had to get rid of a bunch of stuff because it's a huge hole. I mean,
yeah.
Leal is gigantic, so they had to get rid of a lot of things. But pretty much like
Now there's an underground mall there, where
yeah,
the market used to be is now a mall, but it's all
yeah.
underground, and then up above is like a park. And
And they redid the park actually. I went there 3 years ago. Wow, it was really cool.
oh,
They
nice,
redid the
good.
park on the top. Yeah, like now it's super beautiful. It was kind of shady, kind of,
There's
and
a
they redid it entirely. They did some amazing stuff on the top. It's just incredible. There's stuff for kids. There's greens everywhere. People are in the. It's right in front of l'Église Saint-Eustache,
uh-huh.
and I think
I
that
noticed it.
is that the church where Napoleon was. Oh my God, I can't remember. I
When he was
forgot this.
coronated, I don't know.
No, no, Église Saint-Eustache. Église Saint-Eustache.
There's a lot of great kitchenware shops in that area because they all located there because of Leal, because the chefs all went there, so they could also go across to De Hilleran and buy their buy
Deiran.
some new.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's a
Let's
great place.
let's show Deiran.
That's a place that is really designed for professionals, but it's
Yeah.
open to anybody. Anybody can go in there, and I've been in there a million times. Well, every time I've ever been to Paris, I go there and I usually buy something. Um, my I was in Paris once, and you know, spouses often tell their husbands if they're going to Paris on business, oh, I want this, I want perfume, I want that, and my wife was like, no, I want a copper pot.
Yeah, exactly. So l'Église Saint-Eustache. Uh, it's that church right here,
Yep,
right in Leal,
it's a
right?
beautiful church.
So
It's got a beautiful courtyard in front of it. It's right near the Georges Pompidou also.
yeah, patrimoine. No, I don't know if you guys have you been to Leal. This is in front. I know we don't see the very well that.
It's one of the only churches that only has a roof. Oh, there it is.
What do you mean a roof?
Well, the picture, you can only see the roof.
Yeah, right. But this is it,
Yeah, it's a big, beautiful, beautiful church.
and this is
Uh,
Deilan. Deilan, remember Deilan?
uh,
Right here.
I don't know what you're saying. What are you pointing at?
Oh, you're not there anymore. Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, we'll talk more about Rungis. We'll talk more about Leal. We'll talk more about markets in general. We have a lot to say about markets. Everything from little farmers markets to great big giant markets.
Yeah, I want to talk about.
Europe is famous for their markets, of course, and they still have so many of them. These big outdoor. There's De Hilleran. What a great place. Yeah. And that's right in the neighborhood where Leal used to be.
Right. So
So
you have three stores. You have Bovida,
yeah, yeah.
Deira, and
And there's one called Mora,
oh yeah,
Mora. It's
and so yeah, exactly right.
yeah. And then there used to be a lot more of like places that sold tabletop too. Yeah, they have these bins of tools. They have bins of knives. They just have they have all kinds of molds
It's
and
really old style, huh?
specialty pan. Yeah, it's very much real classic
And
French
you know,
cooking.
it's funny, James, because when you go to that was my buddy's, right? Because my restaurant was literally across the street from that place.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Pizza
Yeah.
Coyote was across, right? And they were telling me that most of the people are Americans.
Yeah.
The customers.
Yeah. These days, when I first started going in there, it was French people and not many people spoke English in there, so I had to, I had to use whatever French I had.
But
Now you go in there, everybody speaks English.
yeah,
And like you
because
say, half the customers are Americans
they
or
come, that's like and it's really, really beautiful. And they have so many cool stuff. It's just amazing. And it's not that expensive. I mean, it's it's not
no, it's
cheap, but it's not crazy stuff, right? It was like
no, no.
it's a great way. I mean, compared to some places here, I'm not going to say the names, but some places here they're just ridiculous, right?
Well, the places here have to import the stuff, and they usually buy it from distributors. So there's several middlemen. I mean, De Hilleron gets everything they get directly from the factories, so they have better
All right.
prices, and they have low overhead. I mean, they've been there forever. I'm sure they own the building. Uh, they just and it's very bare bones, and obviously they don't. If you've ever been in there, you know they don't waste a lot of money on decor because it hasn't changed in 50 years. So
Oh my God. I knew
it's
all their staff used to come have a drink at my bar. It was across the
oh
street.
yeah, oh, I'm
Oh my
sure.
God, they would
I'm
complain all day
sure.
long. So I would get so many tools in exchange for like drinks.
And if you're in the know, you go down, there's a basement you go down into, and that's where they have all these incredible molds and different
Right.
specialty pans. And it's a really great, I mean, it's a tourist destination
Oh yeah.
now. I
So
don't think they mind too much because they probably sell a lot of stuff, but
that's what they say. There's a lot of tourists in there. I mean, you have
yeah.
Japanese people, you have
Oh
all
yeah.
kind of people now. It's a tourist place, like a museum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then and then it's the fashion row because now right on that
Right.
same street you have what is the bald guy?
The
Damn, I
bald
forgot
guy.
his name. Friend of Madonna, the guy who does his clothes.
Oh, Gautier?
Voilà,
Gautier?
Gautier.
Yeah. There's
He's
a
right
lot of
there.
really cool fashion houses. There's
Well, yeah,
Agnes B
you
is
have
over there. And yeah.
You have Kenzo,
Yep.
Kashail, all these people. It's the same street. It's all on that area. So it's very strange to see that
Yeah.
all these fashion models everywhere, and then you
Right.
have this tourist that goes to, and then you have the Pied de Cochon that's right around the corner.
Right. Right.
The Pied de
Petit,
Cochon
le
open all
petit
night, where
cochon.
we used to go also after a club. That was
And
and like
it's still good, but it's really a tourist place now. You go in there and it's almost all Japanese and Americans and British
but
people,
it is
and
still good though. You're right
it
because
is good.
it's choucroute. It's all the very very French stuff. And you know one of the best thing in is when you order the plateau de fruits de mer, the
Yep.
seafood tray.
Yep. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
across the street you have something called La Tour de Montlhéry
Hmm.
that also open all night, and this is where a place where we go like after clubs. And it's the place. I don't know if you've been. It's where they give you the whole thing every time, and then
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and they serve the wine. So they bring you wine, and you pay what you drink.
Right. Yeah.
So
The first time that happened to me in Paris, I was by myself and I went to this little place that I really love, and I've never been there by myself, so I sat down and I ordered a glass of wine,
right,
and
no,
she brought me a glass and the bottle and put it down, and I said, and I thought she misunderstood me. I said, no, just un verre, un verre. And she says, oh, you drink what you want,
drink
and
whatever you want.
you would just so I thought, oh, how civilized. So of course
Yeah.
I drank the whole thing, but that's all right.
And they know that, right? They know that.
Yeah,
It's funny.
they know that.
So, but they bring you a lot of food though, so it's very. So I don't know. It works, right?
Food is so good. I still love to eat in Paris.
Right.
I know people say, "Oh, it's gone downhill. It's too
Yeah,
touristy.
a little
They
bit.
cook for the
That's
tourists."
true.
But you know
That's
what?
true.
It's still some really
Oh yeah.
wonderful, wonderful food,
Yeah.
and I love it. Je
So
t'aime,
next,
Paris.
Chef, we haven't decided the time we're going to do our show. Is it going to be noon?
I think we're going to do that. We'll announce it next week.
We'll announce it. We'll put it on.
Yeah.
So the goal is this. We're going to put it on YouTube because I want to keep those on YouTube so people can go back to it in a nice quality, because we're going to record hopefully on high def, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And then people can see it clearly, go back to it. And meanwhile, we're going to keep doing that and have guests on our show. I don't know if we're going to be ready for next week for the guest, but we're going to get together this week with James and I, and we're going to start sending a bunch of invitations. We have a lot of guests who owns farm that are in the business of food, and we want to talk to those people to see what
cheese
they have
people,
to say,
coffee
right?
people, wine people,
olive oil.
Yeah.
We should have Jones again. He was.
Yeah, we'll get Steve back on, and I thought our aim though was to be millionaires.
Whose name?
I thought you said our aim is to do such and such. I said I thought our goal was to be millionaires.
Yeah. Remember we said we're never gonna do that.
Oh shoot.
So we kind of like we're downgrading our goal.
All right. Well, money's not everything.
So
and they say it can't buy you love. So.
Well, except when you pay cash, man. That works pretty well.
Well, that's it for today. We will be back. We're going to expand the show. We're going to have, like I said, we're going to have a lot of cool guests. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Olive and I have a lot to talk about before we even bring on our first guest. We've got some topics to cover.
And I want to talk about markets.
Yep.
Farmers market is something that is very old. Even though at the beginning of that show today, we just said that supermarket came out after the 50s. That was the point of that, was that people were growing their own food. That was the point. Mm-hmm. Farmers market always existed because Louis Philippe or Louis in France, what is that? After Henry. So anyway, I'll find the date. He made this 1300 or 1200. He made that beautiful. That was Les Halles. That's how they started before Les Halles. So
in every town, and not every town, but there are market towns in France, and that's where you were a farmer. On Saturdays, you would come in with your wagon with all your produce, whether it was wheat or apples or pigs or whatever it was.
Markets exist forever. Like in Rome, the markets was already there. The markets existed already, but people cook their own food as well. So at the market, they were getting stuff that they didn't want to cook, most likely breads, cheese, condiments and stuff like wine, but there was
a lot of basically preserved stuff.
Yeah.
But you could also buy a pig. You could buy live chickens, or you could buy eggs. That's what a market was, and that's how you shopped for food. So we'll talk about all that.
In England, the people traveled with the wagon, and they had everything in there, and it could be buttons, sewing stuff, comb, whatever it is. Right? They would go from village to village, and they would be called. How do you call these people?
They called them tinkers, or they were just
I forgot the name. Anyway, there was
basically traveling salesmen.
They
didn't call them that necessarily, but that's how you got.
That's how the last name in England they were from, or in France also, is from what they were doing, like boucher, boulanger. All these last names you see today, you know that the ancestor had something to do with something.
Right.
Vigneron. Right.
Or in England, if somebody's named Miller or Carpenter, that probably meant that somebody back when was.
No, that's exactly how they were named before. So the last name was from their occupation. Anyway.
My name in Swedish means branch of a tree. So at some point in my background, somebody was a tree.
Or you were in a bank.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. We will see you all next week, and we've got a lot of fun ahead of us. We're really excited to be back, and
very excited to be back, and excited to be back with you. At least you have someone to talk to, and we haven't talked for a long time. Remember the guy who's asked, or the dad said to his son, "Do you think the money grows on tree?" And he's like, "Well, why do banks have so many branches, right?"
Yeah.
Anyway. Good. So, well, you guys, good to see you. We'll see you next Monday. I don't know. I think one. We'll make sure everybody knows what's happening. We'll put it on
Yes.
Facebook, and
Yes.
welcome back,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thanks.
Good
All
to be
right.
back.
All right.
Bye, James.
Adios.
Thanks, man.
Adios.